I'm gonna be honest with you, this is the second time I've shot this video because the first time I did, the camera kept sliding toward me and I didn't notice, and by the end of the video all you could see was this. Welcome back to ɪnˈdevə, everyone. I am so happy you are here. Today we are talking about something that is a little... The subject itself is not weighty, but the stuff that I'm going to throw in to kind of make my point is a little weighty, so just prep yourself for that. Today we are talking about bearing one another's burdens. Galatians 6:22 says, "Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ." I'm not going to try to get too spiritual here because I am not qualified to do analysis and stuff like that on scripture, and I don't have revelations or anything like that. All I know is that as a friend, you have a responsibility to your friend to help them through difficult times. I would like to start off with a couple personal examples. I usually make my points and follow up with personal examples, but today I'm going to start with a few personal examples just to kind of get your mind going, jogging, to see, maybe look back in your life, see where someone has helped you through something, or you've helped someone else. So, example number one, when I was 17, this is one of those weighty things that I was mentioning at the beginning. When I was 17, a woman, a full-on adult woman who should know better, said something about me in front of me that was extremely offensive. Okay, like horrendously offensive. I'm not gonna repeat it because it's in the past. It does not need to be repeated, but it was very tough on my 17-year-old ears to hear, and I responded very poorly. I was just crying. I couldn't believe that someone had said that, and I felt really bad, yada yada, whatever. A friend of mine who was a little bit older than me, so we got had more of like a sister thing going on back then, like, you know, mentor-y older sister deal. She texted me later that evening and said, "Hey, are you doing okay?" And I said, "I'm fine." And she said, "No, you're not. Do you want to come out to my car? I'm outside of your house and we can talk about it." Two things to unpack there. She was already at my house, and two, she had the intuition to believe that what I said was not true. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that, and this also has to do with the friendship pyramid. Not every level of the friendship pyramid needs your cunning intuition, but in this case she was right. We were very close. I needed to talk about it, and she was there for me. So we sat in her car for like, I don't know, it felt like forever, but it was probably only like an hour and a half. She helped me through it. She gave me some understanding, told me more about that woman, where she was coming from, like what her nature was. I didn't really know her, and kind of just helped me process it and move on. So that's one example of bearing one another's burdens, is the advice route and the seeing beyond what the person is saying to help them process what they need to process. I have not had a difficult life, so I don't want to make it seem like I've just suffered so much trauma that I've always needed people to help me, but whenever something that may seem a small scale to everyone else comes up, my friends are always there. The other example is when I was like 20, maybe, I think 20. I worked for a company that I was just a temp, so I was through a temp agency, and they let me go for my assignment very unexpectedly. Like, it just ended. They ran out of funding, and it was kind of jarring. So I felt like I had lost my job. I was wondering if there's anything that I could have done better. I didn't get fired, but it had ended, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. I needed the money. My friend made me up a gift basket with just stuff that really showed, like, it just made me realize that she cared. There was like a candle and some candy and some fuzzy socks and whatever, and it was the effort and the thought she put into it that made me realize that I was not going through this alone, and that I had someone in my corner that was rooting for me, and she had words of encouragement that whatever happened, I was going to come out on the other side of it being better for it, and she was right. That's what happened. I'm better for it, for what happened then. So those are a couple examples of bearing each other's burdens. You got the advice route, and you've got the just I'm in your corner route, okay? The other side of this coin, which is a little awkward, like I forewarned you about, is you don't want to be the person, or maybe you know a person, that is always going through something. They always need the attention. They always have a sad sack life going on. They always need you to be there for them, and it's draining. It is draining after a while, and really people are going to separate themselves from you, or maybe you know of someone who is like that and you need to start separating yourself from them. But really, that is not a constructive friendship when you are always the one needing attention, or you're the only one in the friend group who is always having some traumatic experience. Harsh, maybe. Anyways, that is just kind of what I was feeling that we needed to talk about because it was a topic that I was going to cover eventually, and now's as good a time as any. The last thing I want to talk about, and it has to do with the person who always needs attention or whatever you want to call it, and I'm not calling anyone out. I am just giving you examples that I have seen in my life through the years. They're not even particularly recent examples. They're just from down the line. This is gonna be a little bit of real talk. Self-deprecating jokes are awkward. They might have their time, they might have their place when you are around this level of the friendship pyramid. And for those, if I don't even know what this looks like. So at the top of the friendship pyramid, they might have their time, their place, but in a crowd around people you might not really know, reconsider. I was working at an event one time, a long time ago, where this woman kept making fat jokes about herself. It was very awkward. And it started off that everyone who was there was like, oh, you know what you do.
Oh, no, you're beautiful. Oh, whatever. You're just so great.
And then she kept doing it for like 5 minutes. It was just one after the other, after the other, after the other. And eventually people stopped saying, oh, you're great, you're beautiful, you're perfect, whatever, which was even more awkward. So I guess my point is saying that just kind of it doesn't even have to do with bearing one another's burden. So this might just be a tangent. That's a topic that doesn't require its own video, but I thought I would just slip it in here. When I say at the end of pretty much every video, life is hard, but it's a lot easier when you're doing it with the right people, that's not just like a thing that I say to have like a mantra or, oh yeah, that's what she always says. I'm trying to like jog your mind. Like, life is hard. Let's just take that sentence. Life is hard. You gotta wake up every morning and you gotta face life. You gotta face trials. It's hard. So why would you make it harder for yourself by not surrounding yourself with the right people? Why would you make someone else's life hard by not being there for them when they need you? Surround yourself with people who make you better. Be a person that makes someone else better. I don't know. I hope you learned something today and it wasn't just all in vain for my 35 attempts to record this. Make sure you subscribe. It really helps the channel if you do. Someone asked me if you needed a YouTube channel to be able to subscribe. You don't. All you need is a Gmail account. Just hit that subscribe button and we will be friends and you'll see this new content all the time. Follow us on ɪnˈdevə, DM questions, comments, whatever. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video, even for comedic value if you didn't learn anything. You have a great week and I will see you next time on ɪnˈdevə.